History made in Atlanta here at Super Bowl 53. I'm Randy McIlvoy with the latest on the Patriots' victory over the Rams and how Tom Brady collected his 6th Super Bowl ring. We've got all the highlights and reaction from Atlanta.
The beat goes on for James Harden.
Harden back to Fareed, layup good.
But the trade deadline is approaching. Is he about to have any new teammates? Rockets GM Daryl Morey checks in.
And part 2 of Lunch with Astros manager A.J. Hinch. Find out what Hinch is like away from the diamond.
And I was one of 30 starting catchers.
Were the odds to get there stacked against you anyway?
No, it's impossible.
So raise your hands because Sports Sunday starts right now.
Live from KPRC Channel 2, this is Sports Sunday.
Hey everybody, welcome to Super Bowl Sports Sunday.
The most exciting Super Bowl you've ever seen in your life.
We got all of the highlights coming up for you alongside Lainey Fritz. I'm Adam Wexler, and of course, sports director Randy McIlvoy has been in Super Bowl City in Atlanta throughout the week, and he joins us now. Randy, how can you handle all of this excitement and scoring?
I don't know what was worse, the first half here in the Super Bowl or the halftime show itself. I don't think we're going to see rave reviews coming in between overnight and tomorrow on how that went down at halftime. That's a completely different story. Guys, I think the biggest shocker, at least for me and many watching this, was the lack of offense in this football game. I had them, and most people had them at least combining for over 50 points. I had the Patriots actually winning 33-27, so I thought they'd reach 60 points. It didn't happen, but I tell you what, credit both defensive coordinators for the Rams and the Patriots. They did a good job scheming, and here we go, 16 combined points, and we have a Super Bowl champion, and surprise, surprise, it's Tom Brady and the New England Patriots once again. Not a lot of highlights in this one. I know you guys found a few, and you have those right now. Back to you guys.
We sure do. We'll come back to you for some of the post-game recap, but let's get to those Super Bowl highlights from Atlanta. Tom Brady back in the mix yet again, getting ready for another Patriots Super Bowl early in the game. His first pass of the game picked off by the Rams. Unbelievable. He threw into coverage, and there was Littleton to pick it off. But let's go all the way to the fourth quarter. It was still just a 3-3 game. Biggest pass of the game from Brady. Gets to inside the 5. Nice catch by Gronkowski. Pretty tight coverage there as well. And what would come next after Giselle said, yeah, I like that?
A lot of celebrating from her. Next play, they punch it in. Sony Michel from 2 yards out. Patriots in front 10-3 with 7 minutes left, but the Rams weren't done. Biggest pass play of the game comes on a screen to Brandon Cooks, who had 120 yards in the game. Their lone long drive of the game, but Goff makes the big mistake here, throws off his back foot. It's picked off by Gilmore inside of the 5-yard line.
Patriots and their owner, Robert Kraft, they can smell that 6th Super Bowl title. Time to scream and cheer. A late missed field goal from the Rams sewed it up. It kept it a 2-score game. 6 titles for Brady and Belichick. Checking out the score and some of the numbers here on this 13-3 finish.
Yep, Brady 21 of 35, 262 yards and an interception. Goff, of course, was intercepted as well. The only difference, he didn't have a touchdown.
Didn't have that touchdown. The one touchdown from that run from Michelle. And, of course, Edelman picks up the MVP with those 141 yards. Let's send it back out to Randy McIlvoy with more from Atlanta.
Yeah, you guys showed the highlights. Edelman, really a great story. A lot of people are saying this guy's a surefire Hall of Famer. I cannot disagree with that at all. Julian Edelman comes to play when everything is on the line, and he showed that again tonight. But you know what? So did Tom Brady. At the age of 41, he wins another Super Bowl, and he says most likely, I mean, he's going to probably come back for at least a couple of more years, maybe more, and maybe play till he's 45. Who knows? He still has some skills. So do the Patriots. Here's some more reaction moments ago after locking up Super Bowl 53.
Yeah, we grinded it out. It was tough. They made every play tough tonight. I give them a lot of credit. Coach Phillips, all those players, they played really well on defense. Fortunately, our defense really played the best game they have all season, and it was just an incredible win.
You know, I was asked to make a couple plays, and we were able to do that. And you know, there's a lot of plays by a lot of other guys.
Yes, indeed. The Patriots defense shut down the NFC's best offense, forced punts on the Rams' first 8 drives of this game tonight. They had Jared Goff under pressure throughout the game, sacked him 4 times, hit him 12 times in all, and kept the Rams out of the end zone and sealed the game with that key interception late in the football game. Here's more now from the 6-time Super Bowl champion Patriots.
you know, the media might not have, you know, faith in a lot of guys on our defense, but, you know, everybody in that locker room understand that, you know, we got some playmakers and we do it together. So, you know, I have faith. Everybody in that locker room had faith. And, you know, as long as we executed the game plan, we knew, you know, how great we could be.
Defense was unreal, holding that offense to 3 points. You know, it's pretty crazy. They should be the MVP, the whole D.
Well, guys, what else can you say about Tom Brady? We have all witnessed history. There's no question he's the greatest quarterback of all time. A record 6 Super Bowl titles tonight. Just incredible. We're going to have some more post-game reaction coming up in the next few minutes and throughout the rest of Sports Sunday as well. We'll bring that to you, plus much more coming up. But again, the Patriots celebrating. We just saw the buses roll out. I think they're going to have a nice little party here in Atlanta tonight. Back to you guys.
They're going to have a nice little party in the New England area as well. We'll show you some of that coming up in a little bit. But like you said, Brady, maybe the debate is over. He has 6 Super Bowl titles.
Isn't that what we said last time, too?
We say it every time. I've said it for about 3 Super Bowls already. Taking a look at some of the work he put in this game, he was not even his sharpest, not one of his better Super Bowls.
Yeah, not even close. I mean, when you look at the numbers, this was actually the second lowest scoring start ever for Tom Brady. But when you look at the sheet of just all the things he's accomplishing, the most appearances, most wins, oldest starting quarterback to win a Super Bowl, most career passes, most career passing yards. And one thing that really impresses me the most about him is his ability to peak at just the right time and his ability to get his team to peak at just the right time. When you look back at this team, no one thought they would be here at the start of this season.
Yeah, but they're still here, as he might scream at his next press conference. Taking a look at some of the elite company that Brady joins. These are the all-time greats. He certainly fits on that list. That's 6 rings for Brady and possibly more to come. 6 titles for Jordan Messier with those 6 Stanley Cups and that baseball player on the end from years gone by. Babe Ruth and 7 Super Bowl titles. The team they had to beat tonight, I said St. Louis because I played Madden today with the St. Louis Rams. I lost that game.
Oh my God.
The Los Angeles Rams today, they had a similar situation. Their quarterback did not play well.
And the difference you see is the experience, I think. Tom Brady, he's been here, he's done that, and it clearly showed that Goff has not. And I really think the crowd there got to him as well. I mean, it was a New England home game, and they were so loud, you could just tell that communication was completely off with the Rams.
Here's Sean McVay and Goff after the game.
Definitely, I got out-coached, and I didn't do nearly good enough for a football team. Usually when you get a chance, if you go through some adversity, you can bounce back right away. This one's going to stick with you and just stings in your gut. And like I said, I'm still kind of numb right now. But
it was tough. I mean, they did a great job, obviously, defensively, and made it tough on us all night. And, you know, you tip your cap to them. They're the team they are for a reason.
Well, you said he was probably hurt by the crowd a little bit. He was probably hurt by the 12 hits he took from the Patriots defense as well. We got a lot more.
4 sacks, I think.
4 sacks is correct. We got a lot more Super Bowl stuff on the way here coming up as we continue here on Sports Sunday.
In double digits. He's got 11, his 3rd triple. Harden, a 2-for-1. 3, got it. 29 for James Harden.
How do you guard that?
You don't. The million-dollar question that no team has an answer to right now. Harden carving up teams any which way he wants. The Rockets defense came around as well in their last game. Harden keeps doing it. The team keeps doing it. And that's why they're still in the mix in the West.
Yeah, Houston needs all the wins they can get, though. Look at how jumbled the Western Conference is right now. Rockets currently 6th, but they are just 3 games behind the Thunder for the 3 seed.
Could all change in one game. 5 games left till the All-Star break for the Rockets. Only Harden will be working that weekend in Charlotte as of now. This current 4-game road trip ends Wednesday in Sacramento, then Thursday afternoon. That's the NBA trade deadline, which brings us to the NBA craziness that we saw this week. The Mavericks and the Knicks pulled off that huge deal that has the Knicks positioned to be huge players in free agency again, but there's another player that seems to be more in the mix of the chatter.
Yeah, just a bit of the biggest buzz right now going on. The second huge deal involving Anthony Davis. So he wants out of New Orleans and wants to be a Laker. I would want to be a Laker too, alongside LeBron James. And we'll see, does it happen by the deadline? What do you think?
I'm going to say it doesn't happen by the deadline. It's probably a domino effect to the other teams. The team here most people are concerned about are the Rockets. I asked Rockets GM Daryl Morey yesterday if he felt his team was well positioned to make a move.
We're chasing Golden State, so we've got to be aggressive, and we're going to continue to be aggressive. At the phase we're in, our franchise, normally you don't have all your draft picks, and we do. So if there's something that could help us now, that'll improve our team now, we're we're going to be looking at that. We won't do it, frivolously, but if it's something that really improves the team, we'll look at it hard.
Well, the Rockets will get Clint Capella back, likely for the first game out of the break. But you note that Daryl Morey said they have their first-round picks, so expect them to dangle those probably along with Brandon Knight, trying to make a deal by Thursday.
Yeah, and he's talking about wanting to improve this team. I think one of the biggest things that would do that is getting everyone healthy. Clint Capella, and then also Eric Gordon is now possibly dealing with that injury again.
Yeah, every game it seems like he has a nagging issue, and Chris Paul still not playing back-to-backs either.
Getting to Miley for their first run here in the inning. Miley trying to get out of it without further damage. And he does with a strikeout of Hamilton.
Yep, the Astros have added to their pitching staff with the signing of lefty Wade Miley. Miley coming off the best season of his career in Milwaukee, 16 starts, 2.757 ERA. He pitched 4 playoff games for the NL Central champs, posting a 1.23 ERA in the postseason.
I got a little taste of it last year, and then obviously, I mean, this is a championship team, a championship caliber ball club. Hopefully that's what happens. Hopefully we can get back and repeat what they did in 2017.
He's 32. He's been able to change his repertoire over time. He's been able to make adjustments. He's had success. Here, we think we can put him in an environment together with the rest of our staff and our coaches to have him succeed, and that's what we plan to do.
So Miley, the lone lefty in the Stros rotation now. Luno talked a lot about the options they have, Wex, and how he really thinks this addition will be great for competition, nothing but good for those starters.
I guess whichever guy wants to be the 5th starter will just have to have a certain shade of his beard grow in if you look at these 4 guys that should top the rotation. I'm going to say it's probably Josh James that ends up winning that. But Forrest Whitley, another guy that will be in the mix as well. Corbin Martin, another guy that will be there in camp. So the Astros, again, they are about to get to spring training. The 13th is when pitchers and catchers will report.
Usually you have to sign a bat, or you have to sign a ball, or a glove. You have to give them a gift to get the ball back. Right. They didn't want my autograph. They wanted Jason Giambi's autograph, who was our best player.
Talking about his first career homer, getting the ball back. Still to come on Sports Sunday, part 2 of Randy's sit-down with Astros manager A.J. Hinch, including how he and his family feel about our great city here in Houston.
Plus, we'll go back out to Atlanta for more on Super Bowl 53 and the New England Patriots' 6th title in the past 18 years. Sports Sunday coming right back.
It means a lot, just to represent something bigger than myself. It's not really about me. It's about, inspiring others that you can chase your dreams. Dreams are real.
That was Sony Michel, scored the only touchdown of the game tonight. I think that gave Pats fans plenty to cheer about tonight. A typical celebration. They've done it before.
I was going to say, if any fan base, are probably the best at celebrating. And Gronk told us that Bill's going to be celebrating tonight. He's going to be partying.
He said they're going to party, and Bill told him specifically he is going to party as well. And I'm sure we'll see some cell phone video of that sometime in the next couple of days. We want to head back out to Atlanta, where Randy McIlvoy is standing by. We will have more Super Bowl sound coming up a little later in the show, and including from Gronk. But I know you've got another special story you want to tell us about.
Yeah, I tell you what, we had part 1 last week. This was a really fun interview I did with A.J. Hinch recently. I wanted it to not be the traditional sit-down, formal setting. Instead, I said, hey, will you go to lunch? Let's wear a couple of microphones. Let's talk baseball and everything about life in general. He said, no problem. We'd love to do it. We met over at Irma's near Minute Maid Park. Last week at part 1, we talked about his role as a manager in that dugout, bonding with the players. Really fun piece. Tonight, part 2, A.J.'s talking about his road to the big leagues out of Oklahoma, where he grew up, through Stanford, his 7-year stint in the big leagues, and of course his big role as a husband and a father. Listen in. How often do you find yourself in the off season? I mean, you got to give yourself a break, right? I mean, where you detach from everything. Is that something you force yourself to do?
My wife does. We go on a couple trips, and and it is the time. I mean, I get to go to my daughter's soccer games and tennis matches, and be be involved in their activities a little bit more. We done a lot of fun things with the girls that, quite honestly, it's running out. I have a junior in high school now and an 8th grader. And so we started looking at colleges, take a couple of college trips. And
how's that feel?
It feels like I wish they were 10 and 8 again and not 16 and 14.
Right. So when the season is over, is the honey-do list like incredibly long? Like the minute it is over?
So the biggest transition from the season to the off season is probably my patience at home. So many times that Aaron will tell me, AJ, these aren't your players. The girls aren't your players. Like, yes, they're going to pick up their room. Yes, they're going to do their chores. Yes, they're going to do their homework. Yes, they're going to take their plate to the sink. But they're not your players, which probably means I have a little edge now.
Yeah.
In 2017, I was I was my best behavior after the season because we won the World Series.
Absolutely.
But other than that, you end seasons with disappointment.
You got a psychology degree from Stanford. What field do you think you'd even do if it wasn't baseball? What would it be?
I
Something
think
ever interest you?
Yeah, I mean, I always thought I would want to get into, somehow impact people. Like I probably would have got into the education, side of things and teaching or aspirations of being a professor or something like that. My interest level, though, is completely off base. I mean, I would probably try to get into some sort of criminal justice and be an investigator, be somehow try to solve the world's problems and the crimes around the cities. Because I watch it all the time. I watch all the investigative IDs that I can.
So that's right up your alley.
That's right up my alley.
You were in the big leagues for how many years? 7 years. What, reaching that point, is that you're a guy who grew up in Oklahoma?
Yeah,
Midwest City, right?
No, there's
just a dream come true, right?
And what else do you want to do when you put on a baseball uniform at 6 or 7 years old? What else do you want to do? You want to make it to the big leagues.
Right.
And the first time I walked on the field, and I look out, and there's Pedro Martinez is on the mound, and Nomar Garciaparra was at shortstop, and I'm looking around, and Ricky Henderson's on my team, and Jason Giambi's on my team, and Kenny Rogers, who was very influential early in my career. You look around, like those are, some stars, some non-stars, but all names that people I used to watch, and now I was peers with them, and that was probably the first time that I really felt successful and that I'd made it. Right. And I'd played in the Olympics. I had played at Stanford. I'd done a lot of things in the game. I'd been very fortunate. But there was something about walking on the major league field and being at the highest level in the world. And I was one of 30 starting catchers.
Were the odds to get there
it's impossible. No, it's impossible. And you tell our guys it doesn't last forever. Right. It doesn't, and it's not easy. One of my favorite memories of Fenway was I hit my first home run there as a player. Oh, really? And I thought that was the biggest deal ever.
Over the Green
Monster. Yeah, that was a big deal.
Inch in the air to left field, hit pretty well. And that one will sail over the screen and out of Fenway Park. A home run for A.J. Hinch.
But the part of the story that's funny is normally they go get the ball. It's your first hit or your first homer. They're gonna try to seek it out. So when they retrieve the ball, usually you have to sign a bat or you have to sign a ball or it's a glove. Like you have to give them a gift to get the ball back.
Right.
They didn't want my autograph. They wanted Jason Giambi's autograph, who was our best player in 1998. So I had to go to a veteran guy and say, Jason, you mind signing a bat so I can get my home run ball?
For you and your family, what do y'all like most about the Houston area?
We like the people. The people. I think the pace of life is good. I think the people are good. It's a diverse city. I've learned the city via driving my girls to soccer. And I can know when you're going to League City or Pasadena for a soccer game from the Woodlands, it's a full day commitment, given how big the footprint is. But I think we're starting to develop some roots here in Texas.
I'll tell you what, this has been a great conversation, great meal here at Irma's.
You can interview me over a meal anytime. It's a pretty good meal.
No, I really appreciate the time. I know it's been the winter's kind of flown by. I know you're ready to get going.
Ready to go.
It's spring training. We'll see you in Florida. Looks like a big year coming up.
You got it.
AJ, thanks, man.
You got it.
Appreciate it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I want to thank AJ for the conversation and the time there. It was a great conversation. The food was outstanding as well. No question, he loves the city of Houston, as does his family. And Wex and Lanny will pitch it back to you. There's no doubt he wants to win another World Series. He's hungry to get back. He feels like this team has the talent to make another deep run. We're going to find out. He's going to start his 5th season as Astros manager when they open spring training here in about 10 days. But again, great conversation with AJ Hinch. We appreciate it. Back to you guys.
He's such a great guy. He's always fun to work with, and I'm not surprised at all that he said he might be a professor or something in education, because he is so good with people and he's so patient. You have to have patience when you're a manager.
You got to have patience with those kids that he's out there managing. Great story again with his home run ball. Had to go to a vet to get his home run ball back because they didn't want anything from A.J. Hinch about that. We got much more to come, including more from Atlanta. We're going to hear from Gronk when Sports Sunday continues. Welcome back to Sports Sunday. One more impact performance from tonight. How about Rob Gronkowski? He's been dodging retirement rumors all season and all those questions the entire week. After the game, he said that decision comes in about 1 or 2 weeks. Time to party because he showed up in a big way tonight.
Yeah, he did. 6 catches for 87 yards for Gronk. And when Brady needed him the most, the big guy delivered. Here is the now 3-time Super Bowl champ a short time ago.
It was crunch time. I knew it was going to come to me. I just had a feeling. Tom put it up there and went and made the play. Just surreal. Just unbelievable team win. Our defense played awesome. We grinded this out. We're Super Bowl champs, and it's just unbelievable.
All right, welcome back to Atlanta. We're wrapping up Sports Sunday. 13-3 victory. The Patriots win Super Bowl 53, Super Bowl title number 6 for the great Tom Brady, Bill Belichick and company. The dynasty in New England continues with a victory tonight. So, Wex and Laney, that'll do it for now from Atlanta. I guess the Texans really are on the clock now. The new season begins. We'll see if they can get back in a big game coming up next year. It's been a good time here in Atlanta. Toss it back to Houston right now to wrap it up. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Randy. So speaking of the Texans, they have the 14th best odds to make it to next year's Super Bowl. The co-favorites already installed, the Rams and the Patriots, of course, for next season.
Yep, look at that beautiful stadium right there. It was nice on TV. Nice shot by Alex or Randy Sanchez.
That's a great place for them to hold a Super Bowl. We're able to keep it open for the flyover at the beginning of the game. You heard that in the background of Randy's live shot. We'll see you on Facebook Live shortly talking about Super Bowl 53.
See you guys then.